What is up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Career Mode. This is episode number 124. Again, 3 more games for you guys to come up in today's episode. These games, though, are very entertaining. We've got a first game coming up against Udinese here. Then we take on the team that sat in second, and potentially the only team that can catch us in this title run, which is Juventus. And we end the episode off with that second leg against Schalke. So, 3 games to come. Hopefully you guys will enjoy it as well. As I'm saying this is coming out at 4 p.m. I've got a Road to Glory career mode scheduled for 6 p.m. UK time. As per usual, you guys have to make sure that you do not miss either of those 2 episodes. But today's episode, guys, it is jam-packed full of entertainment for you. And it's a very interesting episode. I'm going to say it lightly. It's extremely interesting, but I wanted to say quickly before we move into today's episode, thank you all so much for your continued support on the channel. You guys are absolutely insane for everything you do for the channel, all the likes and stuff of that nature. So thank you, as always, for everything you give on the channel. Now, this game against Udinese, we've played them a couple of times already. We already know what they're capable of doing, but at the same time, they've yet to beat us in the series. So this potentially should be a 3-pointer. Provided we win this one here, we possibly don't need to win that game against Juventus. I mean, I know I said last time, we obviously got a draw with them last time out, 0-0. If you remember quite a while ago, we should have had a penalty in that one, I felt. We didn't get given it. So if we can win this one against Udinese, we'll move into that Juventus one, looking as if we possibly only need a draw, and then the title effectively, not mathematically, but in my eyes, will possibly be ours. So I came into this thinking, all I've got to do, win the game. It's as simple as that. But sometimes FIFA isn't simple. We all know the outcomes of FIFA. But 7 minutes in, we had a good chance to take the lead in this one to Turbo, getting through one-on-one, and I panicked, basically. That was poor from me. I should have buried it, in all honesty. Like, I can't get in that situation and miss a chance like that, as big as the chance was here. And then Renato Sanchez testing the palms of the keeper yet again, Scuffet between the goal, making 2 very good saves. And then, 62 minutes on the clock, I did something silly, and I dove in the area. One thing you never want to do in career mode. The referees can be so inconsistent in this game. Sometimes I've seen those given, other times they're not. So he picked up a penalty kick, or a yellow card here, and they picked up a penalty kick. Of course, Lou between the sticks, we know what he's capable of doing. So the likelihood is, provided that I can guess the right way, Lou's got the capability to save it no matter what way it actually is going. So provided he goes right, if I guess right, you know, I'm likely going to save this. So I was trying to put him off here with Lou. You can see what I'm doing. The 6'6" keeper between the sticks is really looking to put his man off, and he actually does. He makes a save. So I was thinking at this point, fantastic. You know, there's games in FIFA where you're just not supposed to win, and I felt as though this was going to be one of those games. And honestly, guys, I gave away the penalty cheaply. It was stupid from me, and Lou gave me a lifeline. And then 64 minutes in from the corner, Udinese applying a nice bit of pressure here. They did a nice bit of shielding, and I really hate the shielding technique in this game. And disaster struck, in all honesty. Gave away a second penalty. So within the space of literally 2 in-game minutes, I'd given away 2 penalties. I don't know what on earth I was thinking in my mind. I tried to make the tackle. I was never going to get that ball. And it's a really stupid tackle to make. And Dalbert gives away a second penalty in as many minutes. And at this point, could Lou make it 2 out of 2? I was going to guess right, and I didn't go right. I went left in the end. Last second change of my my instincts, and I really shouldn't do that, because if I'd have guessed right and I'd have gone right, like I was saying to myself at the start, I'd have saved it. And at the end of the day, wasn't the cleanest of penalty, but in the space of 2 minutes, he'd missed one and scored one, had the Udinese man. And unfortunately, we found ourselves a 0-0 down. And it went to the 90th minute, guys. Our unbeaten run is now coming to an end. We've lost our first league game of the series, and I am so frustrated, seriously, to lose it like that. 2 mistakes from me, 2 sloppy penalties to give it away. And then Lou, of course, saving one of them, becoming an absolute hero between the sticks. And then he just, yeah, it was so annoying. It was frustrating. You can see by the match facts as well. I wanted to review this one here originally, the original penalty, because I felt as though the sliding tackle, this one here, was a good tackle originally, because you saw the ball move away. I felt he won the ball. And then I reviewed it, and I was like, no, he doesn't even get the ball anyway. He does take the man straight through. You can see very slow here, trying to get a good angle on this one. You can see he actually gets the man's foot, and that is why the ball moves out. So definite penalty. Credit the referee, got it right on both occasions there. But fortunately for them, they scored it. Unfortunately for us, they did, and we end up with our first defeat of the series. And not only that as well, Juventus winning at Sassuolo didn't help my cause coming into the second game of the episode against them. So, you know, in this one now, I just basically need to, at minimum, get a draw. Because if Juventus win, it puts so much pressure on me, and mentally, well, we're playing in 3 tournaments. You know, we've got the Champions League, the Coppa Nazionale, and of course the league. So if we lose this game here, can we mentally keep up in terms of league performance whilst Juventus is still closing us down? You know, have we got the squad depth to do it is the immediate bit. Or, you know, on top of that, have we got the quality to be able to finish off chances? So I came into this one against Juventus here, kind of thinking to myself, do I set up with an attacking threat, you know, going forward? Do I try and push for the early goal and try and score and win the game? Or do I just set up and try and be defensive and make sure that I don't concede and get a 0-0 draw possibly? Because You know, like I said, we need at least a draw from this one in my eyes. If we lose a game, it puts unnecessary pressure on us. We're playing in 3 tournaments anyways. We've got a lot of stuff to go through in terms of game time. We've got a lot of games to play. So I didn't feel as though I needed them any more pressure on me than what was already on. So we came into this one here at the Juventus Stadium. They obviously have a very good team. We're going to take a look at it in a second here just as it pops up on the screen. I mean, it's nowhere near what I was expecting, okay? It's not as good as I was first thinking when I came into this. Of course, they've lost Paulo Dybala, they've lost Higuain because we are now, 6 seasons in? So Higuain's probably retired by now. You know, they've lost a lot of their big players, but they're sat 4 points behind. So if they were to win this and we were to lose, they would go to a point, effectively. So I can't afford to lose this game. That's the biggest bit about it. We can't afford the loss. If we lose, we'll be a point ahead, and it puts pressure on us, like I said. And I don't think mentally, playing in 3 tournaments at the same time and squad depth-wise, we will have it in our locker to be able to take this over the line and win our first Calcio A title as Inter Milan boss. But that is a team for Juventus. I saw the keeper Zoet. I was like, okay, pretty weak keeper in net. And then I saw the 3 at the back. And you all know how much I love to play against 3 at the backs because I think it's an absolute ease when you come up against them. 3 minutes on the clock. And this was, I want to say, surprising to say the least. João Mario gets in. Nice hold-up play. Gets to the right-hand side. Gets to the byline. I thought about crossing it. In the end, I chose not to. I tried to sort of hit it across the face of the keeper, and a lot of the time it doesn't work, alright? Sometimes it just doesn't work. This occasion, the keeper got a hand to it, but instead of pushing it out, only pushed it up in the air. It hit the roof of his net and went in the back of the net. So 5 minutes into the game, as much as I said I wasn't sure which way we were going to set up in this one, whether or not I was going to set up with a defensive style or if I was just going to come and look for the 0-0 draw, we caught them pretty much straight from kickoff and ended up with a goal. So I don't really know what to make of it. You can see it was a Zoet on goal, so it was actually going off target from João Mario, so the likelihood is that it probably wouldn't have even ended up in the back of the net. But to take the lead very early on, it can also be harming as much as it can be good for you. And 25 minutes in, nice ball over the top here. Ziterbo running through, takes a strike on, it's deflected and was going wide, but Zoet made sure as it went into his palms. Into the second half, 5 minutes to go now on the clock. Nice little play from Donza into Vincenzini. Vincenzini into Sanchez. Great turn of his man. And that is an absolutely quality finish from the Portuguese national. That is quality. That is why he is 90 rated. Don't get me wrong, there are times when I'm playing with him and I think, you know what? I don't know how he's 90 rated. His first touch is crap and just in general he's poor. But when you get in that situation, how many players would finish it off with such quality and be able to make sure that Zoet gets nowhere near the ball there? High into the top corner. Says thank you very much. Apologies if you can hear that motorbike in the background, by the way. There's nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. But 5 goals now in the Calcio A for Renato Sanchez in that cam roll. So I didn't really know, as I say, what to make of this because we were taking a 2-0 lead, or a win rather, away from the Juventus Stadium against a team that's possibly going to be the biggest rival we're going to have in this league. To dominate the play as much as we did and not give them a chance. I mean, you can see there was literally 2 chances in the game and they both fell my way. So it goes back to the point of me taking chances but also not giving chances, and that's exactly what happened there. So I was very happy at the fact that we didn't give anything over to Juventus and also that we took the 2 that we did in fact have. And although we can't really say mathematically the title is secure, it now puts us 7 points clear at the top of the table. So the chances are, if we can just see out the season, we're going to be champions no matter what. But of course, we're playing in 3 tournaments at the moment. This one is the Champions League, the second leg coming up against Schalke. If you remember back to what happened in the previous episode, we obviously came through with the 1-0 away leg victory. A very scrappy 1-0 win. We were lucky to quite, sort of get through in a 1-0 victory. I mean, they didn't really have anything testing us, but we didn't really create too much ourselves. Anyway, so we came back to the San Siro here with the away goal, just knowing that if we did in fact concede, of course, it goes to extra time. This is why I don't particularly like playing away from home first, because of the fact that, the likes of Schalke here now know that they only have to come to the San Siro and score 2 away goals and win the game 2-1, and they'll go through in away goals, which is why I like to have me playing at home first, knowing what I've got to beat in terms of away goals, just in case, and then going on top of that one. But I want to show you something as well, guys. After this episode, in tomorrow's episode, I've got a very big, surprising result that came through. You might have seen it briefly on the screen there. I'm not going to spoil it in today's episode because I do touch upon it in tomorrow's. But if you did catch it, then of course you guys know what I'm talking about. It was on the left-hand side of the bracket of the Champions League teams that went through. So if you saw that result and you know exactly what I'm talking about in this episode, then kudos to you. But if you didn't, it will definitely be in tomorrow's and you'll see what I'm talking about in tomorrow's episode. But 71 minutes in here. It was really boring first half, in all honesty. Like, Schalke didn't really create too much going forward. I think they were trying to just hold out and try and get themselves a late goal to take it to extra time, possibly, or maybe even penalties. But we got a scrappy goal at the back post with Raul Jimenez and made it 2-0. So at this point, Schalke had no other option than to come forward or conceal their fate as going out of the Champions League, which is to be expected. Out of the 2 teams, I mean, no disrespect to Schalke, we possibly have the better team on paper and in terms of form right now in world football. finally losing our first league game in this episode earlier on. So in terms of that one, we were on a winning spree. We haven't really drawn too much either. So in terms of the form, we are one of the most informed teams in Europe. So this result shouldn't really come too surprising to us. But 88 minutes, I think now we're into the game. A nice run from Williams, gets it off to Raul Jimenez. He waits for the run on the left-hand side of Mario Icardi. A bit of luck with the way the defender slides through, but unfortunately for Schalke, it was ending up 2-0 to Inter Milan. So a 3-0 aggregate victory here. Looks as if we were moving on into the next round now. No chance we concede 3 goals in the next sort of 8 in-game minutes. If I did, I'd have actually rage quit the save, if I'm being completely honest with you. But Icardi, nice finish there. Obviously, very quality in front of goal. You know when he gets through in that situation, chances are the ball's ending up in the back of the net when he's under no pressure at all. One-on-one with the keeper. If he doesn't score that, he effectively should be getting dropped from the team. But he did score it. We went through 3-0 victors. You'll see it as well. 9 goals now in the Champions League for Mario Icardi. Of course, a load of those coming in for Chelsea, which I spoke briefly about this on the first leg, about it not being cup-tied, which is a decent thing for us. But in terms of realism for the series, it doesn't actually make sense because he would be cup-tied in real life if he did, in fact, move in January. But there you go, guys. 3-0 victory. We got through to the next round. I'm just hoping we escape Leeds United already. I do not want to meet them in an early round such as this one. If we're going to meet them, I want it to at least be the final and then us possibly beat Leeds United in the final to then take it. But I don't want to be knocked out super early just because we met one of the most informed teams in Europe. There you go. City beating Sevilla as well. There's some big teams left in the draw. There is it again. The result on the left-hand side of your screen, which if you saw again, you are an absolute OG. I'll touch upon it on tomorrow's episode, though, guys. If you have enjoyed this one, I'd appreciate if you could hit a like rating. As always, guys, thank you all so much for your continued support on the channel, and I will catch you all with another video at 6 PM UK time tonight. Adios!